A British politician has sparked a viral sensation by using a stack of biscuits to shed light on the UK's staggering national debt, and it's leaving people both amused and alarmed. But here's where it gets controversial. Could this simple analogy expose the harsh realities of economic mismanagement? Labour MP Gordon McKee has captured the internet's attention with a video that's as witty as it is eye-opening, racking up 1.5 million views on X, formerly Twitter, and earning praise for its creative approach to a complex issue. In the clip, McKee, the representative for Glasgow South, constructs towers of custard creams and chocolate bourbons to illustrate just how deeply the UK government is in the red. Sitting casually at a table with a bookshelf as his backdrop, McKee begins, "There's a reason Britain feels broke, and it's probably not what you think." Let me explain, but first, you need to grasp one key concept: the debt-to-GDP ratio. It sounds dull, and honestly, it kind of is, but it's absolutely crucial. Holding a chocolate bourbon to symbolize the UK's debt and a custard cream to represent the nation's wealth, he dives into the numbers. When I was born in 1994, the ratio was around 30%. That means for every pound the country earned, the government owed 30 pence in debt. It stayed that way until 2008, when the banking crisis hit and we had to bail out the banks. And this is the part most people miss. The debt then skyrocketed to about 60%. Over the next decade of conservative rule, it climbed to roughly 80%. Then a global pandemic struck, forcing the government to borrow even more. Today, Britain's debt-to-GDP ratio stands at around 100%. But here's the kicker. That's not even the biggest problem. Countries like France, 113%, the US, 120%, and Japan, 240%, have higher ratios. So, what's the issue? Britain is paying more interest on its debt than any of these nations because lenders aren't just looking at the total debt. They're watching how quickly it's piling up. McKee uses relatable analogies to drive the point home. Think of Japan as your friend who's always overdrawn but somehow manages. And America as the guy who spends big but always shows up to work. Britain used to be the sensible one. But lately, we've been on a spending spree, buying a dog, a new car, and even a hair transplant all in 1 month. We've acted like we've had a massive pay rise, but in reality, we've just maxed out our credit card. Here's the real shocker. Lenders are now charging the UK government more for borrowing, pushing us into a bizarre situation where 8% of all government spending goes towards servicing debt. That's more than double the entire defense budget. When you're spending more on debt than on protecting your country, it's a red flag. McKee concludes by inviting viewers to follow his X account for part 2 of his video, where he'll outline his proposed solutions to this economic quagmire. The video has garnered widespread acclaim, with many praising its accessibility and humor. Notably, McKee was the first MP to hire a content creator, a move that initially raised eyebrows. As one user, Bethany Dawson, tweeted, "It seems like the answer is below, and now I want a biscuit." But let's pause for a moment. Is McKee's analogy oversimplifying a complex issue, or is it the wake-up call Britain needs? And what does this say about the role of creativity in political communication? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's spark a debate.